Who else supposed to be on?
Tiff girl, I don't even know what's going on anymore. I know that last week we ended up missing. I was trying to get that ready for the news and everything, but I don't know. There's not anybody that's been like too consistent with it, you know.
Yeah,
we're working on it.
But we'll get there, you know. People that want to work on their recovery will get on.
Love you.
Love you. Hey guys, so guys.
Yeah, I kind of have found myself thinking about it more often here lately.
Oh really?
Yeah, just like what can I do to help and what can like ideas and all that kind of stuff. Like it just will pop in my head and I'm like, oh, I need to totally do this.
Oh my gosh, and I love them. I've absolutely loved them. It gets me thinking too. And you know, this is like part of the topic is the importance of growth. And I think like just being able and putting yourself out there, it takes a lot of work. It's definitely not easy. But like for me, like I have to force myself to do these sometimes. Like I'm not gonna lie, you know what I mean? Like there's times where I'm just like, I just want to take a break, you know.
You're just not feeling it.
Yeah, you know. But then like at the end of the day, I know that it's important to somebody else because like when I first started going to meetings, I remember people would always talk like in the middle of the meeting, and I would get so upset. And I'm like, you know, it's saving the person's life next to you. So just shut up. Right? Like, recovery gives you 24 hours back. You can give a silent meeting to everybody else, you know? Like, just shut up, talk after the meeting. But yeah, I think getting out there and pushing yourself, I think is definitely the way of growth. And I think that you're always going forward, even if you feel like you're at a standstill, because I think questioning yourself a lot definitely, that's what's gotten me through today, is I always question everything.
Am I doing enough? Like, what? Because, like, my love language is service, you know? It just is, and I do well when I got a project to do. So whenever I hear something, especially in my line of work, I deal with, addicts all the time.
Yeah.
And so, like, I have recovery in my face all day long, and then I have the consequences of what my life would be without my recovery in my face all day long. Watching kids get taken away from parents because I'm the drug screener. And, so it keeps you in a reality check. So it's in my mind a lot because I see it a lot. And I think that's good for me. Like, I have a visual, like, in my face. This is what will happen to you if you go back.
Yeah.
You know? You need that every once in a while. Bring you back down to size because we can get really comfortable. And we also have to make sure that we don't swap the growth. We don't replace the growth with what we're doing either. Like, you can't substitute that for a program or for working on yourself. Like, you can't just work on something that has to do with recovery and neglect yourself and your own recovery. So there's like a fine line between growth and substitution, I think. For me, because I like hyper-focus on something, and I've got like all these good ideas, and then my ADD's like, what? And it's a constant struggle with mental health, and it's just like, ugh.
Yeah,
but you have to be careful and know where your priorities are and make sure that you are getting fed along with, what you're doing to serve others. Because if you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to be able to serve anybody. So, like, I've been having to deal with that a lot because I'm really bad about neglecting myself and not taking mental health days when I really know I should be taking them. And I was able to have one yesterday, and I literally was not worried about a single thing. My cousin had a pool, and we went over there, and we were just playing football in the pool like a bunch of rednecks. It was awesome. Barbecue and everything. It was great. And so we had so much fun, and I just told myself, I'm not answering the phone. I'm not worried about nothing. I'm going to get in the pool, and I'm going to float, and I'm just not going to hear. And I did that, and then today I got to paint with my kids. Like, that comes from growth. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would not have wanted to be anywhere else today. Besides on my back patio with my two boys and us painting and me getting to teach them how to paint and all that kind of stuff, and like loved it, and I wouldn't be anywhere else. And if I was not where I am in my recovery, I would have been anywhere but right here. It's 4th of July. I would be partying somewhere at somebody's swimming pool with a drink in my hand and other stuff everywhere else.
Absolutely.
You know? So, like, with growth comes gifts of that growth, I think. And we have to take the time to absorb that in, because we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, and then sometimes when the gifts happen, we're too busy putting pressure on ourselves to actually, like, enjoy them. So I think when they come, we just have to, like, be able to stop and embrace it. And because we deserve all the good stuff that comes along with the hard work, you know?
And I believe that, you know, like, there's a difference between, like I always say, I'm in recovery. I'm sober, obviously, but I think there's a difference between being sober and in recovery, because anybody can be sober, right? As long as you just stop using or drinking whatever the substance you were abusing. I think the difference between sobriety and recovery is growth, right? Like, in recovery, you're always trying to, like, don't get me wrong, I ended up in the fucking mental hospital because I was so lost in my recovery. It took me, when I hit my 2 years of my recovery, it was like months of, like, 4 months just, like, feeling like I wasn't doing enough for my recovery. I was still working my steps, like, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. It was driving me nuts. And then I ended up going back to my hometown for, like, a doctor's appointment, right? And I ran into this girl at the coffee shop or whatever, and she was like, oh, I thought you hated, like, she was all, like, kind of standoff, and I was like, what's going on? She's like, well, you tried to fight me last time I talked to you, and I was like, what? Yeah, and she was like, well, you were wicked drunk, it was a couple of years ago, and I was just trying to help you. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, you know, I'm sober now. Oh, damn it. Where was I going with that? Shit! It was so good, too. I forgot what I was saying. But, like, growth is important. Oh, it was my 2 years. So I ended up going from, like, I heard her say that to me, and she said that I was drunk. And it hit me for the first time in my entire life that I was an alcoholic. Okay, just bear with me. So, like, I was raised in an alcoholic home, so it was very normal to drink literally every day that ends in a Y, right? Like, you know, it's a good thing, a bad thing, whatever. So I never saw it as an issue. So when I got into recovery, I was shooting heroin and smoking crack and doing everything illegal, right? And then when I got into recovery, I started working on myself, and I was working on my addictive side and all that stuff, and I knew I couldn't drink. That was a big decision of mine to make in my recovery, is like, obviously, it's too normalized, you know, like, that's not the way I want to live my life. And then I realized after 2 years that I was an alcoholic, because I was always an addict. I have the addictive personality, but it hit me that I only did work from the age of 19 to the age of 22, that I didn't go back to 16, you know, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's stuff that I missed. You know, like, stuff that I should have written in my 4th step or stuff, and the longer you're sober, the more you remember. But it's that continuous, like, growth, right? Like, we're always trying to, but, like, my downfall is that I ended up in the hospital, right? Like, I literally had a mental breakdown. And I couldn't understand why I couldn't be a perfect person. So, and, like, I ended up there for, like, a week, and, like, now I understand, like, I'm always, like, you're never going to tell me something that I haven't already heard, right? Like, I'm probably the person that said it to myself, so, like, I'm always the hardest on me. But yeah, I think if we're always growing and we're trying to better ourselves, I think that's what keeps you in recovery, is gratitude and growth. And
it's trying to reach others.
Yes. And that's the importance of growth. And, like, I know people that have been sober for 3+ years, but have never spoken about their addiction, right? Like, they don't speak, they don't share their story.
And that keeps people suffering in silence. Like, I literally have a sticker on the back of my car that says "end the stigma" and it has a semicolon and it says "recover loudly."
I love it.
I drive around with that on the back of my car every single day, all over the state, because whatever I can do to get somebody's attention,
Yeah.
I want to do that because I want that. I mean, driving down the road, that could be somebody saying, "Oh, well, maybe that was meant for me to see that today," or whatever. You know, it's little stuff and like TikToks. Like I'll put stuff on there like, "How can I break you down? How can I help you today?" You know, like.
I love that.
Because, and it's not because I want any attention from it. I could care less about me. Like, I do good with service work, but it's like my control comes in, and it's like I only do good with it if it's my idea. It's something I'm forced to do. You know what I mean? Like, I really no. But if it's something I'm just like that I'm passionate about, then yeah. And like I fully believe that the reason I survived that overdose is to reach out to other people and to help them be able to get out, because I should not be alive.
Yeah.
And it took 4 doses of Narcan to wake me up, and never fixed to intubate me. I shouldn't be here, but I am. So like it can be taken away from you, and so it's such a quick thing, and you don't even realize how bad it's gotten until you hit the bottom, and when you hit the bottom, you're like, wow, how did I get here? You know, but like it doesn't have to be like that. And if anything I can do to further myself in my growth, my spiritually, mentally, all of that, like that's going to run over into me helping somebody else. So in helping myself, I am still helping others. Like I'm really having to force myself to take care of myself for the first time ever.
Bingo. Like I struggle.
And it's making a tremendous difference. Like I'm so just clear-headed and like peaceful for the first time in a long time. And it's like, okay, maybe I just needed some balance here, you know? But it's hard juggling all this stuff.
And I think that's what it is. Like, I'm fucking so ridiculously far from being perfect. But as long as you're, like, there's going to be times that you're at a standstill. And I don't mean that to where, like, and I remember I walked into a meeting one time and they said, how do you know if you're getting closer to your next drink or closer to your sobriety? And that, like, topic just, like, kind of threw me off. I was like, wow, I guess there's actions throughout our day that we don't notice because it's been such a habit for so long. But I think that, like, you're not even at, like, I don't know if I want to say a standstill, but there's, like, times there was at least 2 to 3 times where I was at this point in my recovery where I felt like I wasn't going forward. And I was, like, stuck in my own head, though. And, like, I kept going to meetings and I was doing all the things that, you know, to be in growth and to go forward and to work on yourself. I was doing all those things, but I felt like I was not doing enough. And, like, what you said, right now, I'm, like, struggling to figure out what my best balance is in life. Because, like, starting a business has been such a blessing. And it has opened my eyes, my mind, and my soul to seeing so many different sides of myself. And I love that. But I can't figure out, like I was talking to my husband about it earlier, like, I want to put the baby down, or I want to be able to get up in the morning so I can wake up early and take care of myself for 2 hours. Like, read a book, drink a coffee, take a fucking shower. Okay, let's just be real for a second. So... And but like to do that, like it's because when my baby gets up, it's about his needs, you know what I mean? If he needs me to hold him for a little bit while he watches a show or we go outside, you know, like that's stuff that I started my business for that reason. So I could be home with my child and I could take moments of time when he needed me and to fulfill those things. But yeah, like to put myself first, I never put myself first.
Right, because we're moms, we don't do that anymore.
And I'm the most important person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and so like it's so hard to find the balance because I quit going to yoga. I fucking love yoga. You know what I mean? Like, I haven't done that in months. Like, I could lose 10 pounds. You know what I mean? Like, I could start going for walks at night or going in the morning, and I like.
Well, you could do that with the baby.
Yeah, he loves going outside. Girl, are you kidding me? Like, he would just.
But I think one of the biggest, like, I've been struggling with this too, like trying to find a balance, because this is all brand new to me. I never took care of myself. It was either I was super selfish, like when I was in active addiction, or I literally put everybody else first. There is no in between, because it's all or nothing, no matter what it is with me. It's how I roll. So, whatever. But what I have had to do is accept a few things. Like the fact that my house may never look completely perfect, and that's okay. The fact that I can go outside and paint with my kids for a few hours, knowing that I have stuff to do in the house, because the time that I spent with my kids out here is worth every dish that I gotta put back in that dishwasher in a little bit. Like, I'm learning to not let that kind of stuff stop me from doing what I want to do, because with the job that I have, it is so flexible. And, like, I pretty much can, like, say when I want to work, when I don't want to work, when I want to do what I want to do. I'm my own boss for the first time, and for the first time I'm clear-headed enough to actually make it work.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm loving it. But I just had to accept that there's going to be a few things that may have to be a little different in order for me to do what I need to do for myself. Like, I can't put that pressure on myself all the time that everything has to be perfect all freaking time, because I do that to myself. No one else does it, I do it to me.
Bingo.
And I'm my biggest critic, and I'm the one that's, like, yelling at myself more than anybody else is getting on to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I care more than anybody else does, and I'm the one putting on pressure, so I can take it off if I can put it on. You just have to figure out a way to, like, pretty much substitute, or, like, make a deal, like, okay, this is going to stay this way, but I'm going to have time for this, and I'll make time for that later, or whatever.
And my problem, too, is, like, just like the family members. Like, God love ya, but starting a business is not, like, we got custom orders and everything, and I don't want it to be about me talking about the other business, but it's just, I haven't, and I remember somebody told me, like, listen to everybody's story. Everybody has wisdom, and take on their story like it's your own, and you'll be golden. That's my best advice to anybody. But anyways, this guy said to me that he took on too much in his recovery, that he relapsed because he was overwhelmed and he just got, like, hit with everything, right? And I was like, holy shit, so I tiptoed, I stepped my toes in the water, and I got, I was working full-time, 2 jobs, blah, 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 all that stuff, and I was fine. Now, the whole, like, going into a business aspect of it, it's like, holy fuck, like, people are making stuff that I make with my hands. I've always wanted to be an artist, you know what I mean? So, like, doing my job, it's so creative, and it's so hands-on. It's like, it's me, and it's always been me. It's always been in my soul like that, so I super enjoy it, but it's like, it's different. And I have to, so starting it, I'm going to be honest, I didn't think this shit through. I didn't think it through. Like, I thought about the business stuff, but I didn't think about how I would be feeling, because I never knew what was going to go on. Like, we've never experienced anything bad at the moment. I don't even know what would be bad, but we're getting orders, and that's a good fucking problem to have. Like... So, yeah. But to figure out my life, it's not even my life. To figure it out for myself, I'm gonna be honest, because honesty is key. No, it's to put me first, and I actually need to start telling people no. I do. It's nothing against the family, and I know that the summertime a lot of things are going on and stuff, but another problem that I have, since we're talking about growth, I'll just tell on myself because I'm good at doing that. So my problem, my problem is is that I sit here and I say that I need to take care of myself, right? Put myself first and do the shit. And then I watch fucking TikTok, man. Like, I know that may sound like, well, maybe that's time to yourself. I'd much rather read a book. Like, why am I watching a fucking 30-second video? Or 30 seconds, 60 seconds.
And that
video.
one 30-second video turns into like 2 hours if you're scrolling on your phone if you're anything like me because I sit it
fucking
down.
hours, Tiffany. No, for real. And it's like, okay, so I'm going to sit here and I'm going to talk about, no, my priorities are fucked up. Okay, now we're talking. We're getting it, girl. No, like, that's the whole thing about growth is to figure out who you are, what your priorities are, and to put yourself first. So now,
And also to figure out what if you notice a flaw, to tell on yourself about that flaw so you can address it and grow some more.
exactly, and that's what
If you don't know about it, you can't fix it.
And that's another thing, like to myself, I'm clueless. You know what I mean? Like I'll wonder why I get so agitated. I'll wonder why, like, sensory pisses me off. I'll wonder why stuff, like, I get angry at people for no reason. Olivia, when was the last fucking time you did anything for yourself? And my other problem is I can't be away from my husband. He's legitimately my best friend, and I cannot.
Dude, I got you on some codependency. We can talk about that another time because
Literally.
I've been there, done that. Nope.
Literally. So,
Literally.
and he's
yes,
and he's such a good dad and everything. So, like, he would take the baby if I was like, hey, I want to go do this. Or he's done it so many times before, but it's like, I'm sitting here and, like, I don't know what it is, but my mental health is, like, creeped up on me. So,
that also happens when we don't take care of ourselves.
And I was by myself, girl. Exactly. We were on some fucking growth tonight because we're figuring everything out that's wrong with me.
Yeah, that's what it's about, though. Like, this is not just about not doing drugs. It's about mental clarity, and it's about mental health and mental growth, like, and spiritual growth.
Yeah.
Like, it's about trying to become the best version of yourself so that you can be what you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And this is just part of it.
And even, like, the stuff that, like, I don't want to
Sorry,
do.
there's fireworks in the background if you hear stuff.
That's okay. Yeah. I
Because,
think-
Alabama, we do all that.
Yeah, I just think, I don't know, like, it's good when you talk about a topic that you get so, if a topic makes you think about your actions and your recent events and things like that, that's so good. You know, like, this is exactly what I needed. And
This is good stuff.
like, saying it to
This is
myself
me
is
time for
nothing.
me, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I told my husband, I was like, look, I'm going outside, and I am doing the podcast. Do not come out here unless the house is on fire. Like, this is my time. Unless somebody believes your house is on fire, stay in the house.
Yeah.
Like, give me some time to myself. He's like, okay. So, you know, but I have to be able to feel comfortable enough to ask him to do that.
Yeah.
Because used to, I was like, oh, well, I don't want to ask him if they come out here, I'll, you know, whatever. But, like, no, but I'm in probably, like, some of the better headspace that I've been in a really long time. And I don't even know what I did that I got here. And that's kind of weird to me because I didn't really change much except for medication, but that's important.
Yeah. That's wonderful.
Yeah, like, and I cut off all my hair, and it was just like the most freeing experience because it was so dead. That's so funny that we're talking about growth. But it was so dead. No, really, it was so dead because last summer when me and Chris were separated, when he was trying to get sober or whatever, I colored my hair and colored it and got piercings and got tattoos, but I didn't use and I didn't drink, and it was okay because that's the outlet I had, except it, like, fried my hair. So my depression had actually gotten so bad that I was having to cut my hair off to force myself to fix it because I knew that if I had long hair, it would be in a ponytail, and I had to force myself to take care of myself. So we cut off about 14 inches.
It looks
And-
great.
It was a very freeing thing for me because it was also kind of felt symbolic because we cut off all, look, like I just have it long on this side and then it's really short on this side. And we just cut off all the dead and all of that, and that kind of just represented, you know, I cut off that stuff that happened when my husband, that's not on my body anymore, you know what I'm saying?
Yes!
It's like good vibes, and you know, I've been looking into the whole crystal things, and I'm just trying to do what I'm like fascinated by the whole mental clarity and the, you know, mental health aspect of it that you can do at home with a YouTube video.
Yeah.
So I've been looking into that kind of stuff, and it's really made a big difference. Look at that! I figured it out anyways. I talked it out. Did you hear me? I got to know what I did, but I guess that's what I did.
Get it? See? This is great. Yeah, I ended up, I cut my hair too, because my hair was down to my butt, and I had it all through Active Addiction. And I remember they cut it all off, and then it was like it was just like you said, like it was the experience of detaching yourself from that old person previous.
Yeah.
And I always left, when I was telling Scott, I was like, I really want to shave my head. Like,
Yeah.
I just have the urge just to shave my head.
That was me, and that's why I cut it all off.
Yeah. And he's like, well, if you do it, I'll do it. So, yeah.
Do it. Some girls are, I mean, you can pull that off.
I don't know, like, there's things in my life that need to change. You know, like, I actually need to make changes in my life. And it makes me uncomfortable because I'm very comfortable with where I'm at. And I think that's another problem with my growth is, like, I know that I need to make more changes in my life to better myself. But to do those changes would to actually, like, be rewiring my brain all over again. Like, I'm not addicted to anything, but it's like food. Girl, I can't figure it out. Like, I eat unhealthy. I don't know if I've always eaten out. Like, I feel like it's the same shit that I've
I'm
always
sitting here
eaten.
thinking about your cookies as we speak, so I'm not going to ask about eating healthy food.
So, yeah.
Or
and
animal crackers, but still.
And I feel like, yeah, there's like, and then, I don't know, it's little silly stuff that adds up. It's all the small stuff, right? Like, when we go out of town, we always get a coffee because in town, there's no, like, Tim Hortons or Dunkin' Donuts. Like, it's just gas station coffee, right? Like, we're a small town. So when we leave town, we always get coffee. And, you know, it's not too often, I guess. It's a couple times a week because we gotta go grocery shopping and stuff. But anyways, I want to stop drinking the coffee because it's ruining my other coffee. I don't know. So I just feel like there's little things in my life that are like, you know, if you change this, you could either, like, there's no problem with going back. Like, I don't know. Maybe I just sound crazy right now.
I mean, if nothing happens, then nothing happens. Like, if you don't make a change or see a difference, then you gotta do it the way you were. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't try, you're not gonna know.
And I honestly feel like something within me is telling me to grow. And
I
that
feel
maybe
like
I
you're
need to
gonna
give
be
up the
like-
coffee. Like,
Spiritual vibe kind of
Yes.
shift the past, like, couple of weeks.
yeah. And I need
I
to
don't
start
know.
going to my spirit, like, I don't know. I just feel like I can make some changes in my life. It probably won't be easy, but I feel like it would be worth it, you know?
You've got to make some time for yourself. Got to.
Yeah. That's probably where all of this is stemming from, to be honest.
Because I'm telling you, I've never felt better than when I literally got to relax for the past 2 days, and I feel recharged. You know?
Yeah, that's
And
awesome.
it's because I was running on fumes for forever. and killing myself, running myself ragged, you know? But Oh, also, Chris's grandmother, be praying for her, sending good thoughts, whatever, because she's in ICU. She had a compound fracture on her leg. So they're having to do surgery. So the bone is literally sticking out of her leg, and she can't have surgery. They found the blood clots, and now she's in ICU at this like really specialist hospital in Birmingham, where it's like the University of Medicine hospital.
Oh my goodness. Is she okay?
Like, so it's scary right now. I know there's a lot of family drama too, so it's crazy right now.
Isn't that crazy how the family drama always follows with a very dangerous incident or something bad happening to somebody?
Girl,
Like,
it does.
that's like the last place that any of that should be happening, but it always tends to happen.
No joke. That's usually how it ends up happening.
It's ridiculous. But
But
yeah, definitely
even with
women
all that going on, like, I'm able to center myself and be like, okay, look, there's nothing I can do about that. I can't fix that.
Bingo!
Don't worry about that.
Yes.
I can't control everything, so I'm not going to worry about it.
Tell me why my controlling got worse as I became a mother.
Because you're responsible for a little life, and you want to make sure that they get everything they need, and
That's
for
crazy.
that to happen, other things have to happen, and it just snowballs. Before you know it, you're just like, everything has to be done this way, or I freak out.
Well, I used to be like that, and Scott had to break my shell. So I would do everything by myself, and he's like, what is wrong with you? He's like, I get that you're independent. I fell in love with an independent woman. He's like, but you gotta let me help. I was like, oh,
Yeah, oh, that happens? What?
that's a thing?
Yeah. Oh my god. Sounds like they're shooting cannons out here.
Oh, the fireworks and everything?
It's gonna be going on till probably like tomorrow.
Yeah. Alright, well, do you have anything else that you wanted to share about the growth?
Other than just to, constantly try to challenge yourself would be the best advice I can give anybody that's stuck is, okay, what's something that I'm scared to do?
Yeah.
And then go do that thing. Because if you're challenging yourself and you're pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, you generally will find growth there. So if you're stagnant, then you're too comfortable. And it is something that you're scared of doing. That's good, of course. Nothing that will negatively affect your recovery. But, get yourself out of your comfort zone. Challenge yourself to do something that you're scared to do.
You literally just summed up everything that I was just talking about. That's awesome. Definitely.
So on it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And you're always growing, growth is a continuous thing. So.
Yes.
Alright, Tiff, I'm going to text you. Shit, I meant to text everybody too. You gotta text me your girlfriend's number so I can send out the group text, okay?
Yes, I will.
And then we're gonna get the guys together and we're gonna do the coping, self-care stuff. Probably next week.
Yes.
So.
Just let me know ahead of time so I can get all my stuff together.
Yeah, absolutely. Alright, girl, I love you. I will talk to you soon.
Alright, bye.
Bye.